Hey, thanks for joining me. If you don't know, my name's Critty. Right now, I'm going to give you my insights on what to expect moving forward in the crypto markets. But before we do that, let's reflect on last month, the month of June. I'll touch on some global events that may have impacted the market. We'll have a look at the charts. We can go over the monthly close, which can tell us what to expect moving forward. I'm going to show you a chart I use that helps me pick tops and bottoms. And at the end of this video, I'll give you my insights on what I'm expecting moving forward. No more fluffing, I'm gonna share my screen. All right, unless you've been hiding under a rock, there's a bit of a war going on between Iran and Israel. The US got involved in this as well. Now, Bitcoin dropped 5% immediately after Israeli strikes on Iranian nuclear sites. And over 200 million of leveraged longs got liquidated on June 14. Now, everyone was shitting their pants when this was happening, thinking the markets would crash, but they recovered really quick. At the end of the day, it was a bit of a nothing burger. That's not to say the conflict's over yet, and we might see something down the track that might show some price volatility on the markets. Moving on to the next one, I just wanted to point out the institutional adoption that's going on in the markets as well with crypto. The Bitcoin ETF flows now suppress over $14 billion. Some strong adoption. A lot of analysts are predicting a strong, mature Bitcoin this time around due to the clarity around regulation, bringing in more of this capital from the institutions. And the big one is the Senate passes the Genesis Act on stablecoins. This is a massive milestone for regulation and a massive win for crypto, especially Ethereum, and that's what brings me to the next article. Ethereum hosts majority of the network when it comes to stablecoins. So the act might help boost transactions on the Ethereum network, and we may see further regulatory clarity with Ethereum, while at the same time mainstream finance are adopted. I'm not gonna lie, this is the 5th time I've recorded this segment, so I apologize if I'm not very chirpy. Great, my face is in the middle of the screen, and I can't do anything about it. Anyway, this is the monthly chart on Bitcoin. The last monthly close was okay. It wasn't anything to go, oh, we're on. My biggest concern at the moment is this old all-time high over here. We haven't been able to close above it. So we'll just have to see how we react to this level. As it stands, we're probably going to reject here. On lower time frames, it's a paints a different story. It's a little bit more bullish, but I'm going to come back to that very soon. Now we're going to have a look here at Ethereum. I'll mark out this level here, which I've been eyeing off for quite some time. It's just these two candles. I call them candle sandwiches, but they're two dojis, and I've marked out this level. Price can't seem to get above it. Now, if you go down to the weekly time frame, it definitely paints a picture that price gets up and gets just sucked back into it or back underneath it. So until we get some weekly closes above this level, and especially this order block here, which I'll draw in, we're not going to be able to get to these equal highs until we see price come and stay above these levels. I think once this happens, we'll move there pretty quick, especially with the institutional buying going on at the moment and the narrative around ETH. The next chart I want to show you is the USDT dominance chart. There's two things I want you to have a look on this. It's the red line and the yellow line. Now, if this chart's going up, that means that money is getting flowed into USDT, which is the biggest stable coin from Bitcoin and other altcoins. When this chart's going down, the reverse is happening. It means that people are swapping their USDT for either Bitcoin or alts. Now, in the past, every time this chart has hit the red, we've put in bottoms on Bitcoin, and every time it's hit the yellow, we've put in tops. So we have to be very mindful where we are on this chart, and that we could be some kind of local top and potentially move down, which I'll show you on the Bitcoin chart in the moment. As it stands now, we're just compressing in between this green trend line as well and the yellow lines. So I'm just waiting for a move either on this side of this yellow trend line or on this side of the green trend line. If the yellow trend line does break down, I think this will bottom here, which means we'll put a top in on Bitcoin. I'm not too sure exactly where here, but then we can start going into our bear market and potentially reclaim this trend line and start trying to target some of these highs here to put in the bottom on Bitcoin. Now we're back on the Bitcoin chart on the daily time frame. I've left in the old all-time high, and as you can see, price just can't get above it for now. So we have to start looking at potentially maybe that will start coming to these range lows down here. I'm just going to draw them in like this, just roughly. And providing that we don't lose this level here down at 75 grand, we're still on a large time frame uptrend, as you can see right here. What we do want to see is we want to see price get closed on the weekly above that top green line maybe some kind of retest, or maybe it just keeps going. And then we can use Fibonacci levels, which we teach in our program, to see where we can be taking profits from. The last thing I want to show you is our in-house indicator. It's our long-term VWAP. We pretty much built our whole program around. I'm showing you guys our yearly value area, and price has gone straight through the whole value area and it's now staying above it, which to me is quite bullish. Providing we don't get sucked under back in here and then get accepted into there. And as you can see back here at the back end of last year, once we got out of this value area, we actually got a really strong move. So that's what we're looking for. I'm hoping that this was the last test and that we're flagging out here just under resistance before we go. Now, if you want to take full advantage of this indicator or any of these teachings, the same teachings me and the boys and the students are using with the same goal of extracting money out of our computer screen, and all you have to do is hit the link below, book in a call, and we'll have a chat.